It's absurd Nigeria still relies on 1999 constitution imposed by military 22 years after Nnamdi Kanu's American lawyer. Bruce Fein, the US-based lawyer to Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has said it is absurd that Nigeria still uses the 1999 constitution, although it was imposed on the people by a military dictator. Fein spoke in an exclusive interview with human rights activist and Amnesty International designated prisoner of conscience Omoyele Sowore shortly after he and Kanu's lead counsel Ifeanyi Ejiofor were denied access to the IPOB leader by operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS. Kanu had remained in detention since he was rearrested by Nigerian authorities in collaboration with others outside the country. Point of correction, actually corruption, it works in Nigeria's case. He was abducted. Let's get the wording right. The court had earlier ordered that his lawyers should be granted a routine visit to interact with the separatist leader while in detention. But on Thursday, the DSS had denied the pair access despite meeting formal notification and existing procedures on visitation. Speaking during the interview, Fein condemned the disregard for human rights and due process in Nigeria by government institutions. The constitutional lawyer said globally, the right to self-determination and due process are fundamental rights of every citizen, which should also be upheld by the Nigerian government. Everybody recognizes the right to self-determination and due process. Universally, the law condemns torture and extrajudicial killings, he said. I am an expert in constitutional law, and it seemed very odd to me from the US that Nigeria lives on a constitution ordained by a military dictator in 1999 with no input from the public, no referendum, nothing, and the country is living under such a constitution 22 years later. To me, that is totally absurd. We should look at how laws benefit the people, not just being manipulated to benefit those in power. The court ordered routine visit of the lawyers representing the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra took another dimension as the operatives of the DSS prevented them from seeing him on Thursday. According to a statement issued by Kanu's lead counsel Ifeanyi Ejiofor and obtained by the Sahara reporters on Friday, the DSS said that the person assigned to receive us during yesterday's visit was on a special assignment. I think this is the second time this same excuse is being used. Just saying. Ejiofor stated that he was in the secret police's office with a constitutional lawyer from the United States, Bruce Fein, but they were prevented from seeing the separatist leader despite meeting formal notification and existing procedures on visitation. Well, Fein had in May filed a lawsuit on behalf of IPOB in the US to revoke the 6A-29 Tucano fighter jets sold to the Nigerian government and also block the remaining 6 from being conveyed to the country. Both Ejiofor and Fein were not allowed to see Kanu on Thursday. Cool. Let me even do some research, because this constitution is basically what is holding the country together. Technically, it should be what is holding it together. Because he's absolutely right. I don't think it's highly unlikely there was input from the public when this constitution was being made. So let me just even search on Google. Who made the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria? Let me see. Or who amended it? Well, that's a different question. Constitution of Nigeria. It was ratified 1999. Date effective 1999. Federal Presidential Constitutional Republic. That's the system. The Chambers Executive Supreme Court. Okay. Nigeria has had a series of constitutions. The current constitution was enacted on the 29th of May, 1999, inaugurating the Nigerian Fourth Republic. There have also been 5 past constitutions of Nigeria. The 1999 Constitution of the Fourth Republic restored democratic rule to Nigeria and remains in force today. So it's ironic that this lawyer, the American lawyer, then says that it was imposed by a dictator. Who? Because from the 1999 Constitution, I guess it's like a conventional view that that was when democracy technically started and continued in Nigeria. Of course, the actions afterwards prove otherwise. But yeah, so I like who so who like who's the dictator he's referring to in terms of saying that that it was a dictator that imposed that. Like it's really not making sense. From what we know, the lead up to Abacha, well, obviously, like Abacha's ruling definitely led up to 1999, and in 1998, Abacha dies, and it succeeded. Wait, what is this? He succeeded by Major General Abdul Salami Abubakar, and then he dies, and Moshood Abiola dies in custody a month later. So in 1999, I'm looking at a timeline, parliamentary and presidential elections, Olusegun Obasanjo sworn in as president. Okay. So basically that's it. So I'm guessing, so what was the constitution then? Because the constitution can't just be made, because from the timeline, obviously Abacha now dies, and then Obasanjo is now president in 1999. So in that gap, of course, a lot of must have happened in terms of elections and all that. So it's like there must have been a follow-up of the constitution from Abacha's time till that was then exercised in 1999 as the because then for Nigeria to then go from dictatorship to a democracy, then it means that the constitution has to have changed, but then there is no evidence that says that there was a change in constitution from Abacha's time to Obasanjo's time, which is like, okay, fine. So really, actually, where did this constitution come from? And yes, I guess this then proves what the lawyer is saying, that the constitution was imposed by a dictator that is still being applied 22 years later. And of course, like, well, in 2011, there's been an amendment and all that. But yeah, we need to question that. Very, 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 very. And then, you know what's looking at this timeline, what is even like a key, thing to mention is that in 2000, basically after 1999, when, a year after, Nigeria is like a democratic state, well, technically, adoption of Islamic Sharia law by several northern states in the face of opposition from Christians, tension over the issue resulted in hundreds of deaths in clashes between Christians and Muslims. So this thing of Sharia law obviously being applied in the north, it's like, why? Like, if there's a constitution, why should there be? So again, so what kind of government do we have? Because it's like, if the type of government we have allows for different types of sub-governments, like what is going on? You know what, Nigeria is confusing. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.